to another episode of Beyond the Mirror Ball. I'm your host, Melina, and I run Mixing It Up with Melina over on over on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to give me a follow over there. Okay, I have watched from the beginning, right? I have a lot of knowledge about this show, but every once in a while, I forget just how much one season has to unpack. And this is one of those seasons. We have speculation of a couple, confirmation of a couple. We have a tight, close-knit race for the top two. We have someone passes out during the dance, or during the show, not the dance. We have someone's mom passes away, and we just have a ton to chat about. So, with that being said, get cozy, get comfy, find a spot that you want to hang out in, grab your drink of choice, whether it's coffee, water, wine, or a good old classic crisp Diet Coke. And let's dive in to season 5 of Dancing with the Stars. So let's set the tone. Season 5 is fall of 2007. We have the same 3 judges, the beautiful Carrie Ann, the wonderful Len, and the funny Bruno. We have our same 2 judges. However, for the first 3 weeks of season 5, we do have a guest host to go along with Tom. Mirror Ball winner of season 2, Drew Lachey, also known as 98 Degrees, comes back and co-hosts with Tom for the first 3 weeks while Samantha is wrapping up her maternity leave. So that was kind of cool to see. We then have 12 couples this season. I definitely have a ton of notes for this season. So like last season, I have my notes on a laptop because I had so much. So let's go over the partnerships first. We have Elio. I'm not even going to attempt the last name. And Julianne. Elio is famous at this time as being an IndyCar driver. We have Mel B from the Spice Girls, partnered up with Max. Y'all know who she is. And spoiler alert, the Spice Girls go to, I think it's 2, maybe even 3 of the shows. So that was really cool to see. We have Marie Osmond, famous Osmond brothers, and her brother Donnie. Vegas entertainers, actresses, things like that, partnered up with Jonathan Roberts. We have Jenny Garth, famous from Beverly Hills 90210. She's partnered with Derek Huff, who has now, he is now new to the ballroom, and we should all know who he is at this point. He clearly leaves a huge impact on the show, but starts out as a dancer. We have Cameron Matheson, an actor, soap opera actor, partnered up with Edita. We have Jane Seymour, famous actress at the time, very well known for being Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, partnered up with Tony Dovolani. We have Sabrina Bryan, an actress, singer at the time, very well known for being a Cheetah Girls from the Disney movie series, partnered up with Mark Ballas. This is his first time also being in the ballroom. We have Mark Cuban. Most of us know him as the Shark Tank entrepreneur. He's partnered up with Kim Johnson. We have Floyd Mayweather Jr., the famous boxing guy, partnered up with Karina Smirnoff. We have the ever famous Wayne Newton, Vegas legend, partnered up with Cheryl Burke. We have Albert Reed, a model at the time, partnered up with Anna. And then we have model Josie Moran, partnered up with Alec. Alec comes back to the ballroom after, well, I guess he was there last season, but he is our first Mirror Ball champion. One other thing I wanted to touch on with season 5 was this is the season where they start to introduce different dance styles just to kind of see how it plays into things, how it works. Do fans like it? Do the dance pros like it? Do the contestants like it? Do the judges like it? So in season 5 enters the rock and roll dance style. This style was actually only around for 2 seasons, and ironically enough, one of the reasons why it did not last long was Len hated it. At this time, lifts were a huge no-no because in the ballroom world, lifts were not a thing, especially to the extent of what some of the contestants and partnerships were wanting to do. Carrie Ann was always on actually all three of the judges, maybe not so much Bruno, but for sure Carrie Ann and Len would deduct points if your toe came off the ground even an inch and that dance style was not allowed, you lost points for it. It was a big deal, and they were very, very strict with this at the time. I feel like in today's series, it's definitely more lax. And what I don't like about this series, and we'll get to that way down yonder, is like it's just not the same consistent scoring. Like someone could get lifted. I remember it happening last season, and no one said anything. But then someone else does it, and they lost points. Anywho, this style allowed them to do lifting and it be what they considered heavy lifting. A lot of the partnerships really utilized that option. But yeah, it lasted the show said it was just too similar to the jive. And then again, Len was very vocal in not being a fan of it. It was hard for them to judge it. And maybe because what were the rules for that? Because it was not a technical dance style. They just added it for production value. So cool to know. I think people remember season 5 for different reasons. Like the first thing that comes to mind, I think when we talk about this stuff, we're all going to be like, oh yeah, or oh my gosh. Some people remember season 5 as the Sabrina Bryan season. Some people remember season 5 as the shocking speculation of Julianne and Elio. Some people remember it for different reasons. So let's chat about each of them. I'm going to start with me, what I think of when we're talking about season 5, what's the first thing I think of? For me, I would venture to say that Sabrina Bryan and Mark Ballas's elimination has got to be one of the top 3 most shocking in the season's 34 seasons of being around. Sabrina went home in week 6, which was the halfway mark. And I mean, it was shocking. They were doing so good. The potential to win was there. They had great dynamics together. Mark was new to the show, not new to the industry whatsoever. But to the show, and he was bringing in that younger fan viewing. Cheetah Girls was very popular at the time, so Sabrina was bringing in that younger viewing, and they were just what thought to be had the momentum to make it to the finale. And then week 6 happened, and they did not. I literally remember just staring at the TV being like, now, full disclosure, I didn't start voting till a few years ago. But I remember being disappointed in America. So anyways, so they went home. Another thing about Sabrina and Mark is that they actually became a couple. Not long term. They started dating while they were on the show. And then they dated for a few months afterwards. I would venture to say, based on what I researched, there was probably about a 3 to 4 month span of them being together as a couple. He did break up with her after the finale. And while neither of them really spoke too much on why they were no longer, she has touched on it being said that it was an unexpected breakup. And that it was just really hard for her because she was still reeling off of the show. Many speculate that Mark was the one to break up with her because of that one comment she made. And then he also was like quickly moving on to other things. Again, that's alleged. We don't know. What I can tell you is that neither of them have ever said anything messy or rude about each other. It felt like it was, for the most part, in the viewing standpoint, us looking in, an amicable, not messy breakup, which is good to know. This was the first time when Sabrina and Mark were eliminated. This was the first time that viewers and fans were very vocal in being frustrated with the voting system in place. Now, if you are new here, I have talked about for months how I will be doing a deep dive into the voting system, how it started, where it changed, why it changed, and where it's at now. But I am saving that for shortly after Bobby Bones season because it was such a shocking elimination for that. But I am going to do a deep dive into that. I would say Bobby Bones, we are looking at probably like 2 months from now before that comes out. But stay tuned. So for many others, the other pivotal part of season 5 that they think of when we talk about season 5 is Elio and Julianne. From the rip, the two of them were, it just seemed like they were like that puppy love, like high school love, like giggling all the time, staring into each other's faces with that like desire. Be noted that Elio went into this as an engaged man. He had been with his girlfriend at the time for quite a while. And so people knew that, but it just was very, from week 1, it was evident that these two had great chemistry. Fast forward, hang on, let me look at my notes real quick. Week 8, they do their now famous quick step. And they're having a ball. It's a great time. And then it goes to end and Elio kisses Julianne. And you can see, I will roll the clip for you, the shock. She was not expecting that. That was not part of the dance. That was not expected. And you can see that she did not see that coming. How crazy. And to do it on live TV, your fiance, I don't know if she was in the audience, but they were still together at that time. So that's week 8. The finale was, I think, 3-4 weeks later. And then his fiance breaks up with him. People speculated over and over and over that these two were an item. Neither of them ever confirmed that they were an actual item. Lots of speculation. They were seen out and about after the finale, but yeah, they never confirmed it. I would think maybe, and this is just like, she was 19 at the time. He was 20, late 20s. Gosh, I need to look up his age, but there was a big age difference between them, and she was young. She was the it girl of America at that time. I think maybe they probably put their toes in the sand to see if this could work, but it just never transpired. I think across the board, we all remember, if you watched at the time, I know there's so many of you here who didn't, but at the time, we all remember one very big deal that happened, and that was Marie Osmond passing out on live TV. Let's start with the clip.
Let's go to our head judge first, Len Goodman. What did you think, Len?
Well, for the amateur dancer, for me, this dance, the samba, is the hardest one to master.
I agree.
There's lots of different rhythms going on. You have to do steps on the spot. You have to move around the floor. You've got to get this elusive bounce action going. And, of course, you've got to show the gaiety and the fun of the samba.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back, and we'll be right back after this.
But this is where taking care of yourself is very important. Marie was juggling the show, juggling her Vegas work, juggling her, she had family issues going on. I would venture to say, she does go on to say, let me back up, I'm sorry. So it was week 5, and they had her and Jonathan had just danced. they were at the post where the judges are giving them the critiques, and she's nodding her head, and then the next thing you know, she's passed out. Jonathan catches her, lays her down. They go to commercial break. They come back, and they've got her upstairs already, and she's back too, and she's trying to laugh it off. Obviously, I already showed you the clip. But, so, she goes on to say that she fainted due to stress, that it was stress-induced, that she just needed to remember to breathe. She had a lot on her plate. Now, there was, to just be the person to deliver all the news, there was speculation that she did it for, what do they call this, the sympathy votes? Like, people felt bad and they wanted her, which, is that a thing? Do you vote for someone because they just passed out? I don't know. I digress. And then the other speculation of it was, I don't know, people watch it and they think that it was very, she's an actress. Like, it was very dramatic. And then the fact that she was like back to and already doing like an interview during that commercial break, people found that a little hard to believe. And I think with all due right, it's not, shouldn't be, you should consider all your options. But I do think that she's a mom of 8. I mean, her plate, like my plate's full. I think Marie Osmond's plate was extremely full. So this is why you need to stay hydrated, eat things with proper nutrients, and take care of yourself. Another thing that happened during the season was our first contestant, Jane Seymour, at the time super well known as being Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. And she has gone on to obviously do much more acting since then. Her mom passed away during week 3. So back at this time, you had your dance night, you did your dances, and everyone was supposed to vote, and then you came back the next day, we had result night. I wish they'd bring this back so bad. Like, I was so mad with everything in me that they would bring that back. But here nor there. So she dances, let's just say Monday night. I don't know that for exact, but the next day she should come back for the results. She actually flew to England to handle all of the things that comes with her mom passing. And then she flew right back. She came back. She went on to perform week 4. She danced a tango that was dedicated to her mom. I lost my dad 14 years ago now. I don't think, and maybe I was young, I was in my 20s. I don't think that most people could move forward that quickly and continue a competition show. I know she did it with Grace. She had rave reviews and beautiful critiques from the judges. It was a beautiful dance. And then she went on to go. She was there through week 6. But more, some people would say, like, how did she not care? And then others were like, how did she do that? Like, that's just a part of, like, how everyone's brains work. Some find it fascinating and the determination and persevering through such a hard time in someone's life. And then others find it as a fault or a flaw that she could just keep doing something, And like I've said, I think almost every week at some point or another, who are we to judge what someone's decision like that? Everyone handles things differently, right? So I don't think I could do it, but she did it, and she did it gracefully, I feel. If you are watching the series last week, or I guess it's week 4, Dancing with the Stars season 4, yeah, I touched on almost every season has what I would refer to as the Andy Richter effect. Someone that's on the show that you're really not sure how or why they keep moving forward, but yet you do know why, because they're more of the entertainer. They're the more of the engaging with the fans. They've got a bigger fan base. Not the best dancer. You really scratch your head wondering how they're still here. And like I say, every week, you do not have to be the best dancer or have the most growth to win or continue being on this show. You need a lot more. It is a package deal. You need a great personality. You need to have some fun dynamic with your partner. You need a fan base more oftentimes than not. You have to have, there's a determination in you. So I present to you season 5's Andy Richter effect is Wayne Newton. Wayne was on for weeks and people, especially Len, were not sure why, but Wayne had a great fan base and he was fun. And while the man could not move a whole lot because he was older and very vocal about that, he was still determined to make a way to stick on the show as long as he could. So Wayne Newton deserves the award. I guess we should do an award. The Andy Richter Effect Award goes to Wayne Newton. Cannot finish today's episode without talking about the duel, the close-knit numbers between Mel B and Max and Elio and Julianne. Yet again, who I wanted to win was the underdog, and they came in second. Mel B, first off, I was like, there's no way. She is a Spice Girl. There is no way she will not win this. And she's partnered with Max, and their dances, I'm sorry. I would venture to say that Mel B and Max's paso from that season. Here, you know what? Take a look. What do you think of this dance? I've talked about like what your favorite dance is from the series, and many of you have said the Paso Doble between Mel B, Scary Spice, and Max. Them losing, and do y'all remember how upset Max was? As he should be, but yeah, I just remember like this was neck and neck, and seeing them not win. You know, I'm not one, if the numbers are the numbers and they're the accurate numbers, then it is what it is. It stinks. No one likes losing, right? But this one, for sure, I was like, can we see the numbers? Like, you couldn't help but maybe speculate a little. And again, I think I touched on this last year with the whole Julianne and Apollo winning. Did they win because people vote? Again, you're not just voting for the best dancer or the most improved. You're voting because you have that connection with that partnership. So last week I speculated, wondering, did Apollo and Julianne win, in hopes that people were hoping that they were an item and that they were just loving that connection. So did that play into this win? Because Elio was very popular as a driver, for sure. I just thought, I'm saying for sure a lot. I thought Mel B had a far bigger fan base. And then not to mention, no, honestly, Elio and Julianne danced really well too. I don't know. I just connected better with Mel B. I'm a Spice Girls lover. You know, I was ecstatic to see her on the show. So, anywho, yes, that was a super close competition between the last two. And that wraps up season 5 of Dancing with the Stars and this week's episode of Beyond the Mirror Ball. Thank you guys so much for being here. It really is such a fun job to be hosting this and talking with you guys. Please, as always, like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. It means so much to me. And be sure to be following me over on Instagram or Facebook at Mixing It Up with Melina, all one word. Thank you guys again, and I can't wait to chat with you next week.